And that's the thing that bothered me. I didn't do. It's just all these people influencing him that now I suddenly.
In fact, I mean, there was a super chat that do you know who Nicholas DeOrio is?
Oh my god, yeah. I don't know what his problem is with me. He just, for whatever reason, anything that I do, he will just be against it no matter what. Like, okay, that was weird. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties.
No, it's fine. Wow. So what have you got to say?
That went a lot better than expected. I'm not gonna lie. Like, here's the thing. Part of me is like, I really hope Brad doesn't hate me after this and that we could rekindle. But at the same time, it's like, I think I'm not being crazy to say that like what he did to me was really messed up. And it's like, it's funny because the last video I posted, the pinned comment was basically, you can find that, I guess, was basically about how he left me to dry after sending all this hate to me. And all the comments there were about, how dare you blame Brad for this? Why don't you take accountability? And I'm like, okay, well, watch this video and maybe you can see where I'm coming from. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing for me is, I think those early messages from a few days ago, where he was kind of saying to you, like, what's going on and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. It just feels like if he hadn't said that to you, then there wouldn't be a problem. Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, like, he made so many messages publicly and privately telling me like, oh, it's okay. I'm here for you. I'm advocating for you. You know, even if you make a mistake, that's okay. And then to completely just turn around from that and just be like, actually, you're a horrible person. And from my perspective, I didn't do anything to change his mind. And that's the thing that bothered me. I didn't do shit. It's just all these people influencing him that now I suddenly suck.
But how do I make money?
And even if he hated me privately and was just willing to talk to me and still be friends with me in private, none of this shit would have happened. But it's the fact that he's just like, I just had to. I'm sure you guys are loving it, but yeah.
No, it's fine, because the thing is he said to you previously this kind of comment about, like, he was almost had your back. That's what it came across like. And so the way I'm looking at it is, well, that's going to have an effect on you because you're going to think, well, this guy's got my back. I mean, I guess the question I would ask is, if he'd have said to you a few days ago, like, privately, before he promoted you, listen, you have said some stuff in the past that it's a bit controversial for me to promote you, how would you have felt about that?
I think he has said that in the past, and I like understood that, right? Like the first time he promoted my video, and then a few hours later was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I had to take it down. I was getting some, messages," and I was like, "Okay, that's fine. You did a nice thing for me. I can't hate on that, right?" But this time was very different, and in a weird, twisted way, him keeping it up longer, him making all those offenses for me, led him to completely flip on me. It's just crazy, all the shit that happened.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, sure. I guess, from your perspective, what was the reason for including like old tweets that you'd done that were controversial from your perspective?
The reason one is because a lot of people have no problem talking about old tweets that I made, because isn't that all the shit that people are mad at me for? Old tweets? Okay. You want to get mad at me for old tweets? Two can play that game, right? And like, I sound so vindictive and it's so against who I am as a person, but I just reached my breaking point. And it's just like, this doesn't align with who is like, and the thing is like, I know that it's so tricky. It's so tricky because I know that in a lot of ways he doesn't stand by all that shit. But at the same time, it's like, no one's giving me that courtesy. So it's a lot of like inward conflict, but I had to. I mean, hello?
Yeah, sure. No, I don't know. I mean, I don't really. The problem is
Okay,
like, I want to find a criticism that we can get into this, and I do think that some of this stuff is, to me, obviously, it might mean a lot to you because obviously you're trans, but the misgendering stuff and that sort of thing. I mean, I don't really care about that, to be quite honest.
I know you don't care about that.
Okay.
But do you think that I care about that? Do you think that his fans care about that?
Well, yeah, I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. I guess in terms of including it then, what it's coming across like to me is the reason you're including it is not because you even necessarily think that there's something crazy going on. It's just, oh, you think my old tweets are bad, his old tweets are bad. But then you're
it's like
admitting to being a
also
bit
at the
vindictive.
same
So I'm like,
time,
well, you're kind of admitting to
at the
being a bit
same time,
vindictive.
it's also like hypocrisy, right? Because it's like these people are mad at me for this when all this shit exists, and it's like complete silence, or they're fine with when he says it, but when I say it, it's a problem. And you know, there's reasons for that, like because they followed him for years, they've got to see him over this time, and all they see is this one tweet from me, but they have years of content to go with for Brad. And it just doesn't feel fair. I had to get it all out there.
Right.
And it's
Okay.
like,
Well, I mean, what impact do you think it's going to have in terms of like his audience, if any, if they see it?
honestly, I feel like there's going to be some people who are just fucking mad at me because they just hate me. It's Rose Mulet derangement syndrome. But then
No.
there's going to be people who are like, I hate Rose, but also Brad messed up. And it's like, okay, Brad messed up, but what you're doing is wrong. And then maybe there are some people who side with me. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, I mean, there was a super chat that do you know who Nicholas DeOrio is? I'm sure you're familiar with that name.
Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know what his problem is with me. He just, for whatever reason, anything that I do, he will just be against it no matter what. Like, he is convinced that I'm just a terrible person and that I'm just completely to be ignored. So I wouldn't regard what he says with like much thought because he's very biased regarding me.
Well, I guess I'd just be interested to hear your response to this because I can imagine, Nicholas DeOrio is a bit of a tastemaker in the commentary community, so this perspective may be more broad. But Nicholas said,
and Brad is a tastemaker in the music community, but I'm finding my own way without it. So,
So, what Nicholas actually said, I just want to get your comment on this. So, he said, wow, are you telling me that the crazy freak, that's you, by the way, Brad was warned to avoid has backstabbed him minutes after everyone told him to ditch her? So what do you think about this idea that you've backstabbed Brad?
He has it completely flipped because I would have never fucking done this if he didn't like backstab me more than anyone's ever been backstabbed. Going from the most public support, the most you can do whatever, I'm here for you, to hating my guts and sending hundreds of thousands of people to just shit on me in 24 hours. That's what motivated me to do this. So I'm just think about how he backstabbed me. And this is just me defending myself from all the hordes of harassment that I've had to deal with because of this situation.
Okay.
I mean, that's how I feel. And I feel bad for Brad. I really do. But I had to.
Okay. And just to be clear, because I probably view harassment differently.
He's wrong. He's wrong.
Okay, that's fine. But when you say harassment, what is it you've experienced that you're calling harassment?
There are people telling me to kill myself. There are people being transphobic, openly transphobic to me.
Look, with all due respect, that is the internet, okay? That is the internet, though.
I don't want to give this guy any attention, but there is a guy who literally posted a video where he's like a stalker. He's doxed me. He has like the last 4 digits of my parents' phone number. He's a fucking psycho. That happened as a result of this. I would consider that harassment. Would you?
I mean, that sounds like, it sounds more to what I would think would be more harassment. But the thing is, issue I've got is comments and stuff like that are going to happen. Now, look,
he has the whole number, but we only posted it. But
well, look, I'll happily say, okay, I'm a privileged cis white male, okay, but obviously you're going to get a rougher ride of it with the trans stuff, and obviously other aspects too, probably. So I don't think that's like a crazy thing. So, but I think obviously there's got to be an element that you accept of that. But so I guess what I'd ask is the volume of shit that you've gotten increased since Brad has like thrown you under the bus? Then would you say?
Absolutely. Like before Brad started all this shit, I had so many positive comments from the music videos, which is what I wanted to do. I had people say that they loved the video. I had people say that they were excited for future videos in the series. I don't even know if it's going to continue at this point. I just had a wave of positive comments of people who actually appreciated what I did. I felt like I finally found my place. I was in a positive space after all these years of negativity. It felt like a redemption moment. And then all of a sudden, this happens. Immediately
Okay, that's
after, I
wonderful.
released that
But
video
how do I
4
make
days ago, I think,
money
or
off
something,
depressed
like
people?
not that long ago.
Okay, but
And
then the
then,
argument that I'd make though is, and you know what my perspective is on what's happened with Brad, but by the same token, he did promote you, right? So that was a benefit, surely, in some way.
he did, absolutely. Like, I'm not denying that, and I'm very thankful for what he did. And that's part of the reason why I was like hesitant to even release this, because it's like, well, he did do a good thing, but it's just at this point, it's like it's completely flipped its head. It's gone from being super positive to literally everyone hates my guts. I'm in a much worse position than when I started. This guy who said he was going to defend me is basically calling me this horrible person and telling his fans that I'm this horrible person. It's like once you go there, then it's like I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, it comes across a bit like a poison chalice in that, like, you know, you'd rather have not drunk from the poison
Yeah, this
chalice.
is your fault, internet anarchist.
Oh yeah, internet anarchist in chat. Hello, internet anarchist. Hope you're well. But yeah, it's you know, it's almost like you'd rather he didn't say anything about the video and you could have just quietly released it, but he did. And I guess
Well,
okay, here's the
it
question.
did well.
Okay, here's the question though. In terms of the promoting of the video that he did, was that his doing or your doing? How did that come about exactly?
So the first video I promoted I told him, hey, can you do a community post? And then I messaged him. I think you saw that message where I was like, I'm sorry for all the negativity that went your way. So I was never, after what happened the first time, I was never going to ask him to do it again. And then I wake up one day, I see that he posted it on his community post. And I'm like, thank you. And then a few hours later, I'm like, hey, you know, you can take this down. I don't want any negativity going your way. And then he goes like super all in for me. And I'm like, holy shit, thank you. But I'm also a little scared. And then it gets to the point where he's just like completely turning against me.
Okay.
Hating towards me is just
because that does change it a bit, because it's like, so he decided of his own accord to do it, right? And then there's a bit of pushback or something happens and you say so you told him to take it down after a few hours. Was that because he was getting some initial pushback?
he was getting some pushback. At first it wasn't that bad, but as the hours continued, it just started creeping in slowly, you know. And it was at first it was only a handful of comments, and then it was like every other comment, and then it was all over Twitter, and then it was everywhere that he was.
Yeah, because that's the thing for me, is it seems like you were saying, you know, take it down so you don't get any more grief, which was, you know, a benefit to him. But then he still, the point is that he decided to promote you. You said take it down because you were a bit concerned about the rising level of criticism. And then
I was
it went
thankful
further.
at first. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't until the negativity came that I was like, yeah, you should take it down. Or well, not you should. It's like, hey, if you take it down, it's totally okay. I don't want you to have to deal with this, I think is what I said.
Sure. Okay. But the basic point that I'm making is, you know, and it seems like as well that in your conversations around that time, I'm not quite clear on the timeline, but, you know, you were kind of like having conversations that suggested that he had your back still. So it probably blindsided you when he came out and said that he's throwing you under the bus, essentially, right?
It did blindside me because he said so many times that he had my back. So many times.
Yeah,
oh my god, is Internet Anarchist gonna make a video about this? Ugh.
Possibly. I mean, what? I mean, listen, just briefly. I mean, what's your issue with Internet Anarchist?
He literally came at me for no. First of all, I watched this guy's content, and then all of a sudden he's tweeting about me, about a friend promoting my video, and I'm just like, okay, well that sucks. I can't watch your content anymore. What's your issue with me? It's just kind of like the weirdest thing ever. Like I did not expect this person to find this of all things. And then I messaged him on Instagram and I was like, hey, what's your issue with me? And then we talked for a bit. And I don't know. I mean,
okay. Well, just to get back on track of this, I mean, I guess,
it's if his videos get like 1 million views, that's gonna be like 1 million people who shit on me. So that's not gonna be fun.
But Rose, you bloody love attention. They say but any publicity is good publicity, don't they?
You know, it's funny. I used to think that, but I don't think I do think that anymore.
Damn. So is this truly a genuine change? We will see, I guess. But yeah, I guess the thing is for me is the reason I think what he's done is so snaky is because he's given you a false sense of support that has, you know, led you to a certain perspective, and then he's kind of pulled the rug out from under you, right? Which is just a really fucked thing to do. It's very snaky, very ratty, and you know, just to kind of speak somewhat, not fully, but somewhat in your defense, okay? It's that you, up until recently, and up until the stream was starting, you know, that's why I was pausing a bit earlier, you were a bit uncertain about releasing it because you were worried about affecting the relationship further, weren't you?
I was, and also I'm worried about Brad. Like, he's not doing well. And the last thing, the absolute last thing that I want is for something bad to happen because of my video. Luckily, he has Tina, he has people in his life that I think are going to help him. But like, I do not want something bad to happen because of my video. And that's really where I was just like, I can't. And so I'm just like, I have to defend myself after everything that's happened. But I just want to make sure that he's going to be
Sorry,
okay.
I'm getting one guy by someone in chat. Niche Shadow Wolf, you're an utter mouth-breathing retard. Come on after Rose and we'll fucking talk about it, okay? What does Nick, knowing about our previous dramas, have to do with the series of events in this particular drama? You fucking low IQ freak. What has it got to do with that? Nick is wrong about this because he's claiming that Rose threw Brad under the bus when Brad actually threw Rose under the bus. Fucking moron. Oh, my apologies. Please continue.
It's okay. But it's just, oh, now I lost my train of thought. But fuck.
In any case,
well,
in any case, okay. In any case, here's the thing, okay. I mean, to be honest with you, that's kind of everything I had to say. I don't really think there's anything more that I have to say to you in terms of this video. I think it's released now. The drama's going to play its course and stuff like that. Do you think Brad will respond?
Honestly, I have no idea. I mean, it's possible. It just depends on like how big this gets. Like, there's the potential that this is like a huge thing. Because I mean, to be fair, there were a lot of bombshells. I was like hyping it up, and I'm sure people were like, does Rose really have all these screenshots? I did, and I fucking showed them. But like I said, he might just not say anything, but it might come to the point where his fan base will make him say something. But it's just, to me, he's had this entire streak of events that has just been all horrible. And it's like, to add this on top of everything else feels really shitty. But it's like, again, I have to look out for myself. Am I being selfish? Am I doing what's right? And you guys obviously have encouraged me to just say fuck it and just release it. But you know, I'm still going to feel a little guilty about it.
Sure, and just to be clear as well, obviously we have spoken about this. I tried to make my bias clear. I obviously want the video out because it's content for me, and I kind of teased it a bit on the stream. But, you know, I don't know how to ask this. I mean, I don't want you to feel like I've pressured you to do anything because I feel I don't want to get involved in people's decisions to do things. But obviously you were asking me and I was trying to give you my fair advice.
No, I know.
You know, so, okay.
Well, I guess it was fate. This video was meant to be released.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is even putting aside my own bias, the way I look at it is it does demonstrate his, you know, snakish nature. And I think that's worth putting out there because this guy basically set his reputation. So, sorry, go on.
Yeah, you know what it also is? It's the fact that, like, in 2018, I made a BradTaste expose video. And back then, it was like, there was some genuine shit in there. Like, I had some feelings, but a lot of it was also petty, being mad that his channel grew and I was in like a rough place. And so I'm sure Brad is thinking, oh my God, Rose is doing this again. Oh my God, where's the proof? Everyone was right about her. So I know that's running through his mind too. And it's like, I think you guys get that that's not the case, but I can understand why he think that that would be the case. This is a very weird set of circumstances of events. And if it wasn't this extreme, this would not have happened.
Sure. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for hopping on again. Thanks for the content. Good luck with everything. Hopefully no more crazy things you're going to be saying in the future, I hope.
Now, hold on. Peruko is part of Brad's community. I do care about it. The thing is, I have to defend myself. It's like, I want him to be okay. I really do. And I really hope you get that, okay? I feel terrible about this. I really do.
Okay.
You guys in the chat know how much
Wait
I
a
was like,
second. Listen, Prugo's from Brad's community. Prugo's probably a soy retard, okay? First of all. And
no, that's
second of
not
all, okay,
true.
that's fine. You can say your piece on that, okay? And here's the second point as well. So Brad gets to throw Rose under the bus as a little feckless, spineless freak, okay?
I know.
After fucking supporting Rose, and Rose isn't allowed to speak up on it, and it's just got to float into the background
I
for the sake of
should
Brad's
be
career.
allowed to.
No, shut up, retard! Sorry. What are you going to say?
Called me an ableist slur. I just said that I should be able to say my piece, but I also want to make sure that he's okay. And that's not me being fake. That's not me being both-sided. That's genuine feelings. This is a tough situation, okay?
Okay.
People need to realize this.
Obviously, those words are my own. Rose sincerely disagrees with ableist slurs, so just make that clear. Okay. But yeah, listen, I just think that obviously I've made it clear what I think about you and your behavior in the past and some of the things you said. I just think that I hate it when someone that's got a bad reputation, and in your case, I would argue fairly so that you've got a bad reputation for some of the things you said and some of the things you've done. It just seems so wrong to me that we take that forever, and it twists the way that you view a new situation, even though it's 100% clear that Brad is the one that threw you under the bus. That's exactly what happened here, you know? So yeah, I just think that it's so fucked that now you're going to be criticized for putting this out there. It's completely unwarranted when Brad has had the absolute run of the fucking playground, essentially, in terms of being able to say and do what he wants about this to placate his audience, and you've just got to slip back into the background and no, that's fucking not on. You should be able to come out and say, no, look at these messages. He has misled me about his support for me, only to then go to throw me under the bus.
And it's like up until this point, all he needed to do was like apologize to me and be like, I'm really sorry, and all this shit. And I would have been fine. At this point, I just think that it's the point of no return. There's no fucking way that he's gonna forgive me for this, and that sucks. But if I don't do this, everyone's gonna hate me forever. People are gonna think things that aren't true, and I'm stuck in a tough position. I don't know.
Yeah, and look, you might even get a bit of heat because I'm a drama guy or whatever, okay? And obviously some people think I'm controversial. Just because we've done this doesn't mean that you sign off on anything I say or do, and we've probably got some sincere disagreements. But in terms of getting the information out there's got to be some conduit for that. And, obviously you've done your video and I've put it out there to my audience, and I think there's agreement that he's fucked you over. So, yeah, I don't know. I think this is fair enough.
Yeah.
But anyway, any final comments? Anything else you want to say?
No, I just have to, it's very good that I'm going to take this time from now on and just not be online at all. But like I said, I just hope everything winds up being okay and that Brad has a good support system behind him. That's all.
Okay. All the best, okay?
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, listen. Now, okay. I was a bit heated earlier. No one has to get on stream if they don't want to, okay? I'm not a Discord or bang guy anymore. But I just find it, you were doing exactly the thing that I was talking about, where because someone has done bad shit in the past that you don't like, you are letting that colour your entire judgment of a situation, okay? There's a video on my channel of me talking to Rose and saying how crazy some of the stuff that Rose has done is. But you need to put that to one side, to look at a situation fairly. Put aside your bias as best as possible.
But how do I make
and it's so obvious that Brad isn't wrong in this situation.
When Rose spirals out of control because she was 100% wronged over something she didn't ask for by some scumfuck worm bastard she thought she was his friend, the low IQ commentary channels will go see I was right. I told so.
Thank you for the 333. I am certain I'm correct about my view on this situation. Okay? The only thing that may change my perspective is if Brad is able to show DMs that paint a different picture, right? Because I don't have the full DMs, but it seems very clear to me on what I have seen, particularly, when you consider we're looking at days before this happened, what the situation is. It seems so obvious that is the series of events. If anyone disagrees with me, you can hop on, we can talk about it, okay? I don't mind talking about it with you. I'm totally cool to do that, but I don't see how I'm wrong. How am I wrong about this? You know, and what is what Rose did on a live stream saying the N-word 5 years ago got to do with what's happened with Brad today in July 2024? The answer is nothing. You have got your mind made up because of things that happened previously. Exactly the fuck. Dude, oh man, I'm gonna fuck it. This is exactly the kind of commentary brain rot that is the problem. You are suffering from it, okay? This is exactly the fucking problem. And when stuff like this happens, okay, right, I start to have a little bit more of affinity for some of Queeman's takes on this, where he talks about TCD, right? Because I'm very amenable, okay? I like to try and keep it fair and try and be reasonable with everyone. But fuck me if there's not this brain rot where someone's a bad person, so we're going to let it colour our entire fucking perspective of them. Exactly like the Sniper Wolf situation. Moist Critical puts out a video, doesn't even bother to check behind the scenes any of the details when he's well able to with the connections that he's got, okay? And then ends up having to put a second video out where, and he benefits because he gets to get the, oh, Sniper Wolf bad, based, viewers, and then he gets it wrong, which is a mistake, okay? And then he does a second video, gets a bunch of views. People go, ah, well, but look, he's been honest. No, he shouldn't have fucked it up in the first place. But you know, you can benefit from doing it. It's crazy to me. And it's because Sniper Wolf is so hated, you can get away with it. But you shouldn't be able to get away with it. It's wrong. You should not just assume because you think you know something about someone. Look at the facts and come to reasonable conclusions. Don't just go, well, this person's bad, so they probably did it. It's so insufferable. And it is absolutely a fucking problem that exists within this kind of content. As demonstrated by the Sniper Wolf situation, and we will be moving on to the Achito stuff.
But how do I make money off depressed people?
Coco Marie became a member.
Because, yeah, Achito. I got asked about, I think, did Shelby ask about this? I think channels like this, I don't literally, Peruko, I literally couldn't care less about your opinion, okay? You've come in here to defend your fucking retard snake friend Brad. You're probably never going to watch again. You could disappear like this. If I could click my fingers and make you disappear, it wouldn't make any difference to me. I literally would think no less of the situation in the world. That's it. So save your opinions for someone who gives a fuck, you fucking freak retard loser. Anyway, I need to calm down a bit. Let me have some more energy drink. Literally worthless. Imagine being a BradTaste music fan. What a worthless, pathetic existence that must be.
Okay, that's wonderful. But how do I make money off depressed people?
They also clout weaseled their way into Destiny's orbit, even though Destiny defends the 9,000-year-old dragon girl many times recently, even in Willie Mock's face, and he's like, wowzers, and that's it.
Thank you for the $10, Food Chops. But yeah, no, it's absolutely fucking insufferable to me, and I just can't bear it. It's absolutely fucking unbearable. That, you know, how do you get something factually wrong? And you end up getting praised for doing that because you put out a second video. And sure, Moist Critical did a better job in terms of issuing some apology at the end to Sniper Wolf.
Prejudicing Rose are the same people who would want DNA evidence, 4K video footage, and the word of God to conclude Dr. Disrespect is a creep.
Thanks for the $5 Australian. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just, oh God, it was so frustrating for me. You know, I've obviously, I don't know what I am now, okay? I just do the content that I want to do, right? Yes, I'm going to do the Achito stuff now, and this is a good segue to do it. I don't really know what I do now, to be honest with you. I don't know where I am now. But I want to bring a bit of sense and reason to whatever the fucking situation is. Okay, right. We're going to have to start issuing bans. Or long time out, let's put it that way. Okay, so listen. Whilst I appreciate you're going to have an opinion on the content that I'm doing, okay, I'm not interested in you expressing it in chat in terms of saying that something is boring.
Old Man Jenkins became a member.
The best thing for you to do
celebrates 1 month of membership. I know what you are. You are a chaser.
The best thing for you to do, if you don't think what I'm doing is interesting, is go and watch something else, okay? I do not care if you think what I'm doing is boring. I don't want to fucking hear it. Go and watch something else, and then you can come back and see if I'm doing something interesting later, okay? That's the reality. So please, shut the fuck up. Thank you for the membership. I've got the timestamp. It's all good. It's all good.